Hello and welcome to It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. My name is Rich Gittins, and joining me this week and every week, it's my best buddies, Webby and Lummy. Come on out, lads.
Oh!
Hey!
Wow!
All at once.
Hello.
Get
What's
in my
happening, yo?
face.
Let's get this
It's the
show on
first
the
time
road.
the crew's been back together for 3 weeks, gentlemen.
Has it been that long?
Oh.
It feels like
3 weeks.
less than that. Wow.
One of us got married in that time.
Oh, yeah. Congrats,
Yeah.
mate.
Had a party. Both
Yeah.
of us, we were able to represent like one of those events each, Lummy. You were there to represent us on the show for the party.
But who? Yeah, and you was there at the big do. So
Yeah.
the first question.
And for the consummation of the wedding as well. It
All
was.
You witnessed
Oh, that
that.
still hasn't happened
was
yet.
right there.
I mean,
It's not-
Still waiting.
I don't like asking Webb, but who did the best job?
Who did the best job?
Yeah, I mean,
Me?
Yeah, good. It's the right answer.
Found a wife. Easy
Good.
peasy. I don't know what everybody's moaning about.
That's the diplomatic answer.
I thought you'd got some videos
Who did the
from
best
event.
job? Everybody did a great job. To be honest, I was really pleased with my choices for best man. I couldn't have imagined a better choice.
Bearing in mind your
Both the
brother was
choices.
also a best man, so
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you,
No,
ba-
they
you
did
barely
great, man,
made a
honestly.
choice, to be honest, man. You barely made a choice. There was two of
No,
us.
that's true.
Ranger is back, Martin. Hello, Martin. How you doing?
I was
mate?
very chuffed. They both said some kind words about me, and they behaved themselves all weekend. It was great. So thanks, man. Thanks.
Ah, look at that. You see, you were
Yeah.
missed, Webby. You were very much missed. And welcome everybody to the show. Feel free to leave a comment down below, just like our mate Martin did just then. It's about creating
Right
a big geek community and increasing our nerd knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Webby, Lummy,
Yeah.
what's been
Yeah.
going on in the news this week?
Good Lord. News.
A lot.
News,
It's
you
a lot
say?
of news. We've kind of
want some
skipped the news for
news?
the last few weeks.
Check
and there's a lot
this
been
out.
going on.
Well, all right. Well, we may as well talk about Spider-Man first, aren't we? I'm just going to do a little rundown.
Hello, Amanda. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm just going to do a little rundown of things that are coming out in the month of December for us to get our teeth into. Yeah,
All right,
some
cool,
things
nice.
that we're expecting, some we've forgotten about, and some things we've never tried, which could be really.
So,
good.
is this like a Webby's watch list, or is this just?
Well,
are you going to watch?
this is
Are you going to
stuff
try all of these
personally-
yourself?
Yeah,
or-
personally, I'm going to be
Okay.
watching most of these, which is probably why they're on the list. So we got Spider-Man. They're not in the order of date. I could have made it really easy and done it in date order, but on the 15th, we got the big one, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now,
There it is.
interesting. I'm not going to give any spoilers, not going to talk about the trailers. What I am going to tell you is these films are that good. I sat with Joanna the other night. I said, oh, man, Spider-Man 3 is coming out on the 15th. I've got no one to go see it with you. I don't suppose you want to watch the first one, do you? I can promise you it's good. You know what I mean? I sound like that guy trying to sell a film to his missus that's never going to happen. She was like, yeah, I'll watch it. What? Okay. Stuck it straight on.
She don't watch films. You
She
said.
doesn't really watch a lot of films, but
She
she's got
doesn't
more
watch
important
superhero
things to do.
films
She can't
either.
afford the luxury of watching loads of films like we can. She's got too much on. She keeps herself busy. Anyway, we sat and watched it. Halfway through, we realised that we were two and a bit hours, so we didn't have time. She finished it. I couldn't believe it. She wanted to watch the second half straight away the next night, and she came in today. She said, "Is it wrong that all I can think about is watching the next Spider-Man?" I'm like, no, it's not. Hold on
She's
to
in.
that thought.
He's in the
You know,
game.
Now we've got our fourth geek
Got it.
for the show.
Hooked
Come
her
on,
in.
Joanna.
And then I just tentatively said, I bet you're also thinking maybe some of these Marvel movies aren't as terrible as I thought they might be. So I think I've hooked her in. So yes,
Wow.
definitely watch number 2, and then we're gonna have a date and go see the next one as soon as we can
That
when that
sounds
comes
great.
out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know
man.
what's going to be brilliant as well? It's going to be like you're going to pack Robin off to his grandparents. We're like, see you later, Robin. We're going to go and watch Spider-Man.
That's the thing you feel bad about. I sat with her and I'm going, to be honest with me, Joe, Robin could watch this, right? She's like, not really. It's a bit scary. And I'm like, yeah, all right. There's some scary stuff in it, but the rest of it, with him being at school and hanging out with his friends and just constantly making mistakes and messing up, I thought he'd love it. So yeah, I've got Job. I haven't got Robin yet. And the worst thing is, Robin would watch the hell out of it. He really would. He would
We've got
watch
Big
it till
T
his
Mars here.
eyeballs. Big
Hello,
T.
Congratulations, Webby, everybody.
Oh
new
no,
blinds.
they're not new. Yeah, thank you. They're not new blinds. They're very old blinds.
And they're very heavy blinds.
Yeah, they've caused some structural damage to the window frame. If you really want to know, but let's not talk
Smoke
about
damage as well in that. It's your smoking room, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, thanks for the judgment, prick.
Saying there might be smoke damage in there.
Whilst Webby is detailing the awesome releases for December, feel free to let us know what you're going to be watching this December.
Let us know if
we want to
missed
know what you're going to
anything.
be watching.
Actually, we have. I don't think we got this in the news lineup because it was announced.
Yes, I can talk about that if you'd like, as I've just heard today. Let's do it now, since we're just on the subject of Spider-Man. So you know this rumor about this arm that you see in the trailer of Spider-Man could be Daredevil giving him a bit of legal advice. Yeah. They haven't confirmed it, but Kevin Feige has gone on record as saying if they are to do Daredevil again, bring him into the MCU, there are no other contenders other than Charlie Cox to play him.
Cox, yeah.
So that's a really
they're all
really
in this
good
film. They're the worst liars ever.
See, the thing is as well, I mean, we'll get onto this later because I know we're talking about Hawkeye at the end of the show, but there's a lot of talk at the minute that they are trying to bring Kingpin from that world, from the Hell's Kitchen DC, the Netflix Marvel stuff, into the
Hawkeye.
MCU.
Into Hawkeye in
the MCU, yeah. So we could talk about that a little bit later on. But let me move on to my next one. And now this is a show that I'm pretty sure none of us have watched, but I'm not sure why. And I think I'm going to give it a try. So The Witcher Season 2 has just been released. See, I can't help but watch the trailers for this and think, why aren't I watching this? It looks like Game of Thrones crossed with a bunch of other stuff, Lord of the Rings and monsters and swords. What's my problem? So I've heard good things about Season 1 and Season 2. Season 2 is just about to be released on Netflix. That's on the 17th of December. So I wondered if you guys have watched it, if you gave it a go, or if you plan to.
I haven't. I've heard a lot about it. I've got a friend who does some of the fight choreography on it, but I've never seen it myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I know people are interested in it. I mean, the people who I know have seen it like it.
I could have said I've watched it. It's amazing. You're gonna. I've not seen it at all. I've never bothered. No, I'm not bothered either. So it's something neither any of us have seen. So.
Okay. Is it something to do with a computer game as well, or isn't there a computer
it's based
game?
on The Witcher, the series of games.
Yeah, it is actually based on that, right?
Which is usually a negative, isn't it, as history dictates? But they've got much better at it now, and this one apparently does have a plot, and it's not. I don't think it's a continuation episode from it. I think they can go wherever they want. Things are happening at different times and stuff in the show. It sounds quite interesting. Anyway, personally speaking, I'm going to give that one a go. See what all the fuss is about. Okay.
Witcher Season 1 was great. Problem was
that's why it's disjointed. So that's what somebody was telling me. I think it might have been my brother was saying when you watch it, it doesn't like. I think he was trying to say you could watch any episode you want because it's not in a linear, plot.
Oh yeah. Oh, cheers, mate.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give that one a go. Next one I've got is something that I know Gittins was watching. I've watched it, but season 3 of Titans is coming out. It's been dropped on Netflix on the 11th of December. Season 2 was a bit sort the men out from the boys, if you like.
I can't remember. I know we've talked about you and I talked about this, Robbie. I can't remember ever having watched this, but I can't see why I wouldn't.
I can remember where we both lost it with it, or where we both thought this has gone a bit strange, and it takes
what was it that we didn't like about it? I can't.
It's sometime between the end of season 1, kind of at the end of season 1, and 2 or 3 episodes into season 2. They tried to introduce a few more characters, and they made some really weird choices. So they picked Superboy as a character, and Superboy's got a dog called Crypto. Superdog.
Crypto the Wonder Dog.
So it just added this new element of a cheesy Superman type character who's completely quite stupid, if you like.
I can't believe I've watched an entire season of the show that I can't remember watching at all. That doesn't.
The first season, if you remember,
no impression whatsoever.
Yeah.
You will remember the first season is about what happens to Robin after he chooses to leave Batman. He can't stand working with him anymore, so he moves to San Francisco, I believe, and he sets up the Titans. And there's Angel, what's she called? Dove, sorry, and Dove and the Hawk. They're a couple. Who else have you got? Look, keep that picture up for a second.
Oh my God, I do remember that.
Yeah, the guy with the green hair, that's Beast Boy. You've got the Red Hood. You've got Coriander, who is Starfire. She's quite a big DC character.
I do remember that.
And it's got that Gotham vibe, dude. That's exactly what it is. It's very Gotham-y. Some of these DC...
Who are them at the far left? Them two at the back?
That's Dove and Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk, yeah.
Dove and Hawk.
It's those two that I remember because...
They're a married couple. They're a couple.
An alcoholic or something like that? Or am I getting that confused with the boys?
It could be. Mate, to be honest with you, I'm getting a lot of this confused with the other stuff as well. All I'll say is it's worth the watch. Deathstroke was great. No, not at all. Deathstroke's one of the bad guys in the... So it crosses over into Batman territory. You've got a few Batman baddies in there, but you've also got people from Superman. You've got all sorts of people crossing over.
So when does that come out?
That's on this Wednesday. Oh, no, not Wednesday. The 11th, whenever the 11th is.
Okay.
So that's season 3 of Titans.
No,
also, I can't blame this show for this, right? I know Lost in Space on Netflix. First season was excellent. The second season, I didn't enjoy as much, but that wasn't the show's fault. It was my fault. I will happily admit that since I got an iPad, it's been more difficult to keep my eye on what's going on the show, and I've got that one definitely fell into that category where I was half watching it. However,
it was a bit turd though. It was a bit turd, dude. We both disliked it for the same reasons, and I wasn't sat with an iPad. It was
season 3 is coming out. It's come out already. It's on Netflix. It's been out since the 1st of December. I'm going to go back and watch season 2 again, give it another go, and start season 3. One thing I like about this show is it's got a ridiculous budget. It's just crazy. They really have put some effort in. First season is marvelous, beautifully done. Yeah, so that's 1st December.
Were you working at the cinema when we had the Lost in Space movie on? And the props.
Because you got to wear Thingy's coat, didn't you? Because I was Matt LeBlanc's coat. So I was about to say that I'm always surprised whenever I used to watch the TV series Lost in Space that Matt LeBlanc doesn't appear in it because he seems like he'd be perfect for this series.
We got there one day and they had a bunch of costumes and they all had like Pinewood Studios written on it, and the name of the actors was inside, and I ended up wearing Gary Oldman's suit from Lost in Space. Sounds fun, right? But what I didn't realise was about 2 hours in to the shift, well, I'm bearing in mind I'm doing my shift in this costume, I start noticing this funk, this sweaty Gary Oldman sweat smell coming from every corner of this thing. I couldn't wait.
Smelled like the London East End.
Mate, it was pretty gross in there. So without him knowing it, I've piggybacked off Gary Oldman's.
And not washed since.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty disgusting event actually.
It was really odd that they sent them jackets and that, though, innit? It's like, you sent them at us for? Very odd.
Yeah. Was it Alex?
The thing is, how many other cinemas had they gone to before yours as well, before the opening? And how many other people had worn those jackets?
Yeah, maybe I'm blaming Gary Oldman and he's sitting there watching this guy. I smell fucking brilliant. I gave that to somebody else, man. That's not my stink. I smell amazing. Anyway, yeah.
Meanwhile, Lummy's like, I tried that jacket on first.
2 hours. I sat sweating on top for you in that jacket before I give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and mine wasn't a jacket. Mine was an all-over latex proper space suit that you had to zip up and everything. Yeah, and it was all over foam, like this thick. It was really gross.
You should have.
That is gonna soak up.
Yeah, exactly. If you gave it a squeeze, old sweat came out of it. I know, like 19-year-old me was just like, stick it on, we're fine.
Got Big Team on, a couple of trailers and just sweep Spider-Man across the Spider.
Yeah, that's a brilliant trailer.
Yeah, and they've done Reacher, the TV show, with a guy who actually looks like Reacher from the books, so people are freaking out. This guy is massive. I think he looks like the guy who plays Hawk in Titans, actually. I'm not sure if it's the same dude. But he's a big, all-American, huge chin, muscly dude playing him. So, yeah, if you like Jack Reacher, go for that. We've also got, and this is one we might have forgotten about, 31st of December, Cobra Kai Season 4.
I was wondering if you'd remember to put Cobra Kai in. Yes.
Yeah, that's coming out. Got a bit of Terry Silver coming back in this one, haven't we?
Yeah,
you kind of fell out of love with this a little bit, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It was a bit overkill. It was like a joke that just
I've enjoyed it all, me. I don't know.
Me too.
I've enjoyed it. It's good.
I'm really
It was
looking forward
alright.
to this season.
I do think,
it's
though,
all gone dark.
I reckon they had no idea how popular it was going to be, though, and I think that first series and the fact they called it Cobra Kai, I think they're expecting one season and done, and then everybody went, "This is ace, make more," and they were like, "Oh no, I might be wrong." Just feels like that. I don't know why.
They were like, "Oh, all right, quick, get it out there, quick, fast," because look how fast they've made. It's 4 seasons in like 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they really are squeezing them out, and there's been some really enjoyable stuff. I think for me, it was just, I don't know. By the third season, right? I got the joke in the first series, but there were bits I really liked. I loved it when he went back to Japan and he met all the old people that he saw from Karate Kid 2, and everything came full circle.
When he went to Mr. Miyagi's grave, as you know.
Oh yeah.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I'm all right.
Oh.
I'm all right.
Yeah. Just needed a second.
I just needed 1 second then.
Cobra Kai season 4, 31st December. Netflix, obviously. Then we got the big one, 29th of December, Book of Boba Fett, season 1. Let's see if
we're all waiting for this. We're all waiting for this one.
I mean, personally, I'm quite curious which is going to be the first shitty Star Wars TV series that they do. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be able to keep this up forever. You know what I mean? Maybe as long as Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are alive. But yeah. And now they've been given the green light to move into the movies, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've been.
So I was literally about to ask how long are they contracted to this Star Wars project?
I think they have an open-ended agreement at the minute. Right. Basically, because they haven't messed it up yet, I think people are giving them a chance. Do you know what I mean? But the further Kathleen Kennedy takes a step back from the Star Wars world, the better things are getting, and that is becoming a thing as well. I know, Boba Fett, dude. Who thought
it's either going to be brilliant in it or they've gone too far. You know, it's. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting one, that definitely, because I think all this stuff that's set after episode 6 as well. It's interesting because we've not seen that. You know, there's such a gap, isn't there? You know that they can do
difficult.
This.
I'm wondering if they're going to
go on, Webby.
Go on.
It's difficult to see how they're going to cock this up, though, when you see what they've done previously. You know, you kind of go, well, they did such a good job. They know what works. They know what doesn't work, for sure, being Star Wars fans themselves. Mm-hmm. How can they cock this up? Especially, I guess, with it just being a well-beloved character. I guess, maybe some of the more uber Boba Fett fans. Or Boba
everything
Fett fans,
they gave it everything in that season 2, and he was pretty good in that. I guess the worry I've got isn't really the Book of Boba Fett. I think that'll be fine. I think what's going to happen to Mandalorian season 3, if you take the one of the protagonists out of it, if you haven't got a baby Grogu in there, is the show now going to be? Is he going to be in it? Is he training to be a Jedi with Luke? Are we going to see any of that? You know, what's the Mandalorian got to do now? He doesn't have this kid to protect.
I mean, I think that was the arc of that one, wasn't it? The story arc, and then. I don't know. Maybe they'll do. I mean, when they first started that series, I thought it was going to be him going around collecting bounties. You know, that was the whole idea. Wasn't it? You think this is what's going to happen. As soon as they found, the baby, you think, oh, this is totally not what you thought. But I don't know whether they keep. I mean, it's like the Obi-Wan series is supposed to be protecting Luke in that. You think they're just shoving a baby in all these things? If there's a baby Jabba the Hutt in Boba Fett series, I'm out.
I tell you what,
I was about to say, that's the one thing, having said what I just said about how can they cock it up, Obi-Wan is the one that I am worried about. And it might not be their fault, it's just more the cast.
Strong words, Matty. Right.
I think
Kennedy has something to do with The Walking Dead as well. I think she was, hey, bulletproof blouse, how you doing?
That could be true. I've no idea if that's a joke. It could be.
Oh, this Fett. No, Uber Fett, because I was saying the Uber Boba Fett fans.
I mean, this is the one. What I think. I mean, Andor.
This is a weird one. Didn't they kill this guy off in the first movie he's in?
Yeah, so they're going back.
Everything they've got to do has to happen before Rogue One.
Right. Yeah. So for those of us who can't remember who Andor is, what's
Cassian Andor? He's in Rogue One. He's a rebel defector who helps Jyn Erso to steal the plans for the Death Star to give them to Princess Leia to start the franchise.
Okay, of course.
Just going back to Mandalorian for a sec, it does strike me how a babysitting gig in the galaxy is one of the toughest fucking jobs you can have. You know what I mean? Protect
If
this.
that baby's Grogu, then
Protect
yeah.
this-
Or
Yeah.
Protect
Baby
Darth Vader's
Luke.
kid from Darth Vader.
Yeah, there was a baby Jabba in.
Oh
Pirates.
yeah. I wonder if they're going to tackle the Jabbas. I wonder if they're going to see any huts.
The Jabbas, yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
What else is
obviously,
coming out?
if he's
Go
in the oh no, he died ages ago, didn't he, Jabba? I'm going to say, surely they'd come after the palace, but they won't, would they? Because your man's already was in it, wasn't he?
I learned something about the Mandalorian this week, about Boba Fett, rather, is that Jabba's palace is not a palace. Jabba, do you remember that spider-like thing that's walking around with the brain in the jar underneath it, Rich? You pointed out that you
the
didn't think you'd ever
gallbladder
see it.
type thing. Yeah.
Well, they are. That's a race of. I mean, this is just so much Star Wars bullshit, but they are a race of like Star Wars monks, and Jabba's palace used to be a monastery for these spider things, and the reason they exist in the spiders, part of their belief system was that to free yourself, you have to take your brain out of your body, and it's a really weird belief system they had.
Jar on a spider's body.
Yeah, it'd be a giant jar on a spider, so you could be completely free to think about it.
And that's
Brilliant.
Scientology, kid.
That was exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
It isn't the daftest premise for a religion I've ever heard of. I've got to say, you know what I mean?
Right, Webby, what else is coming out? Anything
Well,
else?
one sec, my screen's just gone off a second. Next thing was Matrix Resurrections coming to HBO on the 22nd December. Now, obviously, none of us have it, HBO, so I'm not sure how we're going to watch it.
They're
Wink,
going
wink.
to have
cinema.
it released over
Yeah,
here.
go to
aren't
cinema
they?
and see it. I don't know if it comes out at the cinema on the same day, actually. I have no
I think
idea.
I've got some in my eye as well. Got to cinema and see it.
So yeah, I'm mildly interested. I mean, it's got a lot of work to do to make the last two films plausible. Give them a point or anything. Yeah, it's all about the baby.
Yeah.
Spaceballs. Prophecy came true, didn't it? Merchandising.
Yeah, it's all about that. So yeah, you got the Matrix. Doesn't sound like we're that asked about that, but yeah, 22nd of December.
I don't know, is anybody asked? I don't know. I really
Not
don't know.
really.
I saw the trailer when I went to see Ghostbusters, and I just went, yeah, kind of watch this.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Also, the trailer were a bit like, I don't know. I keep
seeing these stupid articles from film sites that will remain nameless, but things like Neo still knows Kung Fu in The Matrix 4. What, is that your fucking article? Seriously?
Yeah.
Because if he didn't, it's going to be pretty crap. Or if you're just watching him learn it again, what? You know, that's not news, man. Somebody needs to have a word with these people. Anyway,
that was like the Easter egg videos that we watched about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh yeah, absolute.
They will use proton packs.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say.
It's exactly. It's just
Phoebe's
stupid.
acting geeky because her granddad was Egon.
Oh, look, and then they find X01 in the garage. This is an Easter egg. It's not an Easter egg. It's like a main
plot point.
Of the film. Idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's a bit more well hidden than being in the main plot of the film.
Exactly.
Where somebody driving it about.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing that if I was sitting and watch Ghostbusters with Joanna, who has not seen the original 15 million times, she's probably seen it once or twice, but not as many times as we have.
Well, she'll know what X01 is.
She'll know what X01 is, but there might be points in the film where I go, huh, and she's like, what are you laughing at? And I'm, oh, well, the Twinkie.
The stack of books. Yeah,
the stack of books. The things that... And they're not even Easter eggs, are they, really? What's an Easter egg is all that shit that Egon has on his wall in the basement.
The
with
toaster.
The little cutouts, the
toaster
from Ghostbusters 2, the little cutouts from articles that he's picked up. That's what I want to have a zoom in.
Lummy said the cleaner sticker. The
maid's thing on the locker.
So they're Easter eggs, I think. But anyway, let's not get...
And the Vigo painting.
Yeah. I need to see it again, man. Got to go see it again. Anyway, so I've got a couple more things for you. 15th of May. Sorry, May? No, 15th of December is a cartoon animation thing called Ron's Gone Wrong, which is a Pixar-style animation. It might be... is it the other people, Lummy? DreamWorks.
Hang on, let me get rid of that. I think.
Might be DreamWorks, might be
20th
Pixar.
Century Fox, can't tell.
The point is, I keep hearing about this movie. I keep hearing about it in the sense that I heard about Mitchells versus the Machines, or one of these movies that is a kids movie but is for adults as well. And I'm one of them no smoke without fire people. You know what I mean? I really believe that people are saying it's good for a reason, and I like a good. So if you want a good family comedy to watch, might be a good one this month.
Yeah.
My next one is totally out of the blue, but it sounds absolutely like the next thing I really want to watch. There's a show coming out called Landscapers. It's set in Britain. David Thewlis and Olivia Colman playing a married couple who go to dig up their back garden one day and discover there are 2 dead bodies buried in there that have been there for years. So they're becoming embroiled in this whole manhunt to find the killer. It's clear that they're not the killers because the bodies have been decomposed. They haven't been living there long enough, but they get wrapped up in this whole news case, and it just looks. I mean, with them 2 in it, how could it be crap? It looks pretty good. So I thought that
Radio Times exclusive as well.
I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And a Sky original.
Speaking of Sky originals, I watched Hurricane Heist this weekend. Wow, I did that so that nobody else watching the show has to. Wow,
thanks, man.
Cheers.
You're so selfless.
It was bad. The premise is there's a hurricane. It starts off with 2 boys and their dad driving away from a hurricane, and the boys are just fighting in the car. One of them just punches the other one in the face, and dad's like, "Stop it!" And then something comes across the road. They crash the car. And they're like, right, there's a house there. Let's get in the house for safety. And the dad leaves the boys in some random person. No one's in the house, but breakfast is still on the table and stuff. And you're thinking, oh, shit, what's going to happen in this house? Then the dad goes outside to try and tow the car out of this ditch by using the winch he's got on it. And while he's doing it, a water tower falls off and starts rolling and crushes the dad. And it just rolls over the dad. And that's how the film starts. And then, the 2 boys appear later in the film as adults, but 2/3 of the way through, and you're kind of 2/3 of the film, you're like, why the fuck did the film start like that? It's just a really weird film about some hackers trying to make a heist in a hurricane.
I'm blown away by your choice.
Blown away?
What? Yeah.
I wanted to fall asleep
sat down and watch. Did you?
I was intrigued, and it had Ralph Innes in it as well. So I was just like, okay, see what it's like.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, he's not scared of doing it. He's a weird guy. That guy. He'll do some really cool stuff like The Witch and Game of Thrones, but then he'll just do whatever. Yeah, I recognise his voice on adverts all the time.
Yeah,
too late. Already had the time taken away from me watching it.
Sorry.
Wow, yeah.
Everything's better than Home Alone, right? Mine. Come on, let's be
sure.
You mean Home Sweet Home Alone?
He means Home Alone. No, he means Home Alone. He's trying to goad you. He's a hater.
Don't do it.
I had a mate of mine, the same age as us, who watched Home Alone last night for the very first time, and I was like, I was weirdly jealous. Finchy, from The Office.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's from Leeds, actually.
It's a weird one. I'd love to try and watch some. Have my brain wiped of certain movies and watched them for the first time.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, no, this is a controversial one, isn't it? Some people really hate it, and some people are saying.
And he came out and said, didn't he? Ridley Scott's blaming everybody for it not doing well.
Yeah, it's all millennials' fault.
Yeah,
people just don't get it. People are too. I don't understand that. But anyway, I've saved the best for last. My last recommendation, or my last one to watch out for, available now on Apple TV.
Oh,
Mariah's Christmas: The Magic Continues.
I mean,
so it's a Christmas special.
It's going to be a Christmas spectacular. That a joy. Is she going to do the big song? Everybody's going to be wanting it.
Watch it and see.
Maybe she'll go. You know what? You don't deserve it, you scumballs.
Yeah, maybe she will.
Throw the mic down. Everybody will be like, "What the fuck?"
Or maybe she'll just go, "Yeah, I hate that."
Maybe it's an hour of her doing that song with different people, duets, like Kermit the Frog and things. And,
oh man, yeah. Well,
she just riffs for 45 minutes of the song, and then
I've watched some new stuff as well. I watched Venom, the new Venom.
I've got to say, my nephew made me watch that the other day, and we're all right. It was all right.
I felt the same way.
Spoil, 'cause I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't want to watch it at all, and he watches it nearly like he bought it on Sky Star, I think it was.
Well,
he watches
you can
like
rent
3
it for
times.
15 quid. You can rent it for 15 quid.
15
Which one?
quid to
The
rent
first
it?
one or the second one, Lummy?
Second one.
Second one. You can rent it for 15 quid because effectively it's going to the cinema. So like you and 4 mates could sit and watch it.
What they do, my brother and his family, they get this deal where you get tickets for you get like vouchers for the Sky Store. You get 2 pizzas and a drink or something for £5 from, I don't know where it'll be, Morrison's or somewhere. And you get a voucher and it gives you £5 towards Sky Store purchases. So he saved up his vouchers and got Venom for himself. And then he watched it all day the other day because you only get it to rent for a certain time. So he watched it 3 times in a row.
48 hours or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you need an entire day off to watch
Would
a
it be
movie.
worth renting it for 15 quid and watching it?
In my
Or
opinion,
is it better off waiting?
15 quid's 15
you are,
quid, mate.
You are
Depends
right.
if you've got the money.
It's like paying to go to the cinema, though, isn't it? You know, so
Yeah. I tell you what, though. I mean, what I noticed about it was Andy Serkis isn't really a director yet. I mean, the things that were good about the film, the thing I think they got right was the banter. And it was the thing I read in the interview, in the review of it. They were like, it just doesn't work. Tom Hardy and this Venom, they don't gel together well. And I was watching it thinking, that's bullshit. They're actually quite funny. And there's a sweetness to it and a weirdness to it. And I thought it really worked.
it was all right. It was all right.
Weirdly enough for me, Tom Hardy may as well have not been in it. He didn't do anything. He really didn't.
I really thought it's going to be awful, this, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. So that's a nice review for it.
Did you like the first one?
I've seen the first one as well, and I won't bother.
Did you like it?
I think the second one was better than the first one, definitely.
Yeah, I think the second one was
So I
better.
enjoyed the first one.
The first one was all right. This one was definitely better.
Rich can watch Mariah for us. We're all watching Mariah.
We're gonna have a watch party.
I'll
That's our
be busy
next
watching
show.
Miranda, the Miranda Christmas special.
Oh, God,
So yeah, that's it for what I know. There's other stuff coming out. I know the Spider-Verse trailer got released. I'm not watching it. I'm deliberately not watching it. I'm just going to wait for the movie. I think I can wait for that one.
Don't forget about our Mrs. Brown's Boys watch party as well.
Oh
my God, is that not finished yet?
Why do you hate us so much, Lummy?
It's back. Polar Nights here. Nice.
Hello, Polar Knights. How the heck are you? Welcome back to the show. Before we move on, guys, folks, stick around because we've got an important announcement to make for next week's show. We've got a bit of a special show coming up next week, and we'll announce that a little bit later on. But we got any more news before we skip ahead to what Lummy would like to discuss?
Give me a second. I'm just going to try and reach my juice that I've left conveniently out of reach. One sec.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, there was a trailer which we're not going to show for the Harry Potter reunion thing that's coming on New Year's Day, I think. And again, I think that's another HBO Max thing.
Yeah, man.
But basically, the trailer is just like 40 seconds of a couple of actors getting a letter, getting an invitation.
Was it Neville Longbottom guy?
It was Neville, another guy from Leeds, actually. No person from Leeds.
It was I don't know who else was in the trailer.
I think it was Mr. Weasley, maybe. I can't remember either. But yeah, and that's literally all it was. And I think
so. What we're thinking, they're going to get the actors to sit down and talk about the same shit we heard them talk about.
Yeah,
exactly. In the extras on the DVDs and things like that. I think ultimately all Harry Potter fans want is more content that's going to.
It's going to be like the Friends reunion, isn't it? And let's hope it doesn't have James Corden.
James Corden.
Whoa! I won't hear a bad word to say about that Friends reunion. That was amazing.
It was great, apart from James Corden.
But the best thing about it was it made you think you were going to be in it, and he's only in it for like 20 seconds. It was good. Yeah, it is. It's cold. I've got a jumper that's too warm and a head that's too cold, so I can't put my jumper on because I get too hot.
You look like Macaulay Culkin in that.
You do look a little bit like Do you have any more news, guys?
No, I just. What do you think the Harry Potter thing is going to be then? That literally, them sat down.
It's going to be them getting together and reminiscing about the.
I reckon they'll be going around the Warner Brothers tour to show it off as well to get that.
To get some extra tickets. Yeah.
Especially
Christmas time. They'll save the backdrop money as well. They won't have to spend anything. It'll be the cheapest. They'll spend all money on actors while they're getting them dragged back to go.
Yeah. I mean, you won't hear any of there's probably some really awesome stories from that set, but you won't hear any of them. You won't hear about the time that Tom Felton took a big, massive line of coke with Alan Rickman and they got all messed up. Do you know what I mean? You won't hear any of that.
There is a story about Michael Gambon and Alan Rickman can't stop laughing because Michael Gambon has placed a little fart machine next to Harry in a scene where they're all lying down in the Great Hall, like sleeping. And Harry was laid next to a girl, and Daniel Radcliffe was laid next to a girl he really fancied. And Michael Gambon kept pressing the fart machine and letting it get off, setting it off, and like Alan Rickman just creased up laughing. So that's quite a nice story.
JK hasn't been invited to Pyrenees.
No, I don't.
That's a different show entirely. That
there is a story.
Life stories with Piers Morgan.
They're talking about making a movie of the Cursed Child with the original Harry Potter actors because now they're of an age where they could play.
But Daniel Radcliffe still looks like he did back then. That film they were in where he was supposed to have kids, and I went, nah.
Oh, the woman in white.
The woman in black. Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah. These are my two children. No, you aren't.
No, they're not. They're older than you, dickhead.
You haven't done it, Radcliffe.
No, you say that about Radcliffe, but
there's like an episode of Extras where it's like with the content.
I've got this.
Yeah.
You take it out of the packet. Yeah, easy access. Ready to go.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, yeah, he's. I'm going to stick up for Radcliffe. He is a man, and I know that because he's like Lummy. If he shaves before a show, he'll have a beard by the end of it. He's a hairy guy. He could properly grow a beard. His arms are like Robin Williams or something.
And do you know what? He comes across as a nice guy, like a weird, like quite interesting person. When I've seen him on things like QI and stuff like that, it's always come across as
I didn't say we're a twat. I just said he's.
It's all right, we know what you feel about him, really.
He's him acting like he's got some kids. He looks about.
Plus, if you remember, Lummy, right at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, they made them all up to look like they were 20, to try and make them look like they were 20 years older, and it did not work.
No,
I mean, what they should do, they could refilm that now. You know, refilm that bit, shove it back on the. Do you know what they should have done as well? They should have done it with, although it don't look any different. I'm going to say they should have done it with Back to the Future. You know, where it goes into the future. And there's older selves there, but it don't look any different anyway, does he? Michael J. Fox.
Nah.
They should do that with stuff, though. You know.
They could now. They probably will as well. I would have thought. But yeah,
I hope they won't with Back to the Future. Again, it's one of those ones I just don't want. I don't want touching at all.
I'm saying with Harry Potter, really. Harry Potter. I'm saying with Harry Potter, I think they should refilm the whole lot now. It's been 20
me too.
Years.
We've just watched them all again in the last couple of weeks.
There
is definitely effects that you can do on your iPhone now.
Yeah.
There was some talk as well. The director of the first one. I don't know if I talked to Nat about this last week, but
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, he's on about putting.
Or David Yates, one of them.
Chris Columbus, first one. He's going to put He wants them to do an extended version of the first film and put Rick Mayall's ghost back in it. You know,
do you know what? I was just thinking that because when I'm thinking about stuff that I feel like I missed from Harry Potter, one of them I only found out this year. I think it was Nat that told me that Rick Mayall was cut out of it. And ever since then, I've wanted to see it, but part of me thinks it's probably cut for a reason. It might have been shit.
No, time. They said it was just timing.
Really? Was it? Okay.
Said it were great. So the director's come out this week and said, I want to get that back in.
I mean, that was only they only had the ghosts in the first film. Really, they weren't a feature at all from that. Like much for a feature, unless they were
kind of flying around in the background.
All the house ghosts. Yeah, because you had pythons.
Forgot to say allegedly.
John Cleese, yeah.
For the drugstore, I forgot to say allegedly. Just assume everything
I
has got allegedly.
No, I didn't.
I know there's lots of drug stories from Potter. I mean, it's the reason that Crabbe or Goyle, one of the two, just disappears halfway through the franchise because the actor was caught growing weed and selling it and was caught in the 2011 riots, nicking stuff from a store, and so that they just couldn't continue with him in the film. They wrote him out.
See, put it in the film context, though, what he should have done, planted it in the set, in the greenhouses. Left it along there growing for months.
Anyway, we're venturing into too much Harry Potter talk here. Lummy, you've got some movie posters that you want to share with us this week.
Yeah, I
Ghostbusters.
just thought I'd have a look through some really badly not CGI, what do you call it, Photoshop posters and put them up for our amusement. Just 'cause
So
it's-
are these the original posters that went out for the
Yeah,
Western
yeah.
releases, or are these the releases from other countries where they've had to alter them?
No, these are the ones that went out, I think. Yeah, I can't confirm that or deny, but we'll see. So I'll just put them up randomly. You can have a look. Some of them you probably won't see.
What the hell is that?
John Travolta. Look at his head.
Stubble. Look at his stubble. It's weird.
Some of these you won't have heard of them, but yeah.
That's before he admitted he was bald. He'd been bald since like 1982.
They made a mistake with they made a mistake with the sizing of the head, haven't they? Clearly, it's just like weird.
Yeah.
There's some weird. Right, you ready? I'll just keep going. There's only a few.
And that gun looks ridiculously tiny too.
What the fuck is that?
What?
Weird.
Why would you think that is a good idea for a poster?
It's just making me think anybody could be a poster designer.
What was he cuddling in order for them to take that picture?
I don't think he was cuddling anything. I reckon they've just grabbed that from some other image completely. I don't know.
Just stuck his head on it.
Yeah. Loads of them are like that. Just like
Whatever happened to Jessica Alba? She
don't know.
Smothered by a naked man.
She's never been in since Fantastic Four movies, hasn't she? I don't know.
Was she in the good Fantastic Four movie or the terrible one?
There were two. One though. There were two with her.
Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then they rebooted it. Josh Trank or somebody directed it, and it got a right slating. And if you actually watch it, it's one of the best fucking movies they did.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It works really well for me in that movie. The bit that doesn't work is the fact that the studio cut all the good bits out of it against the director's wishes because they didn't have any.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, I was reading about Kang and the fact that he's going to be in the MCU. That almost is definitely going to be in the MCU. Have you seen the poster for Ant-Man and the Wasp 3?
It's not a poster.
Not the poster. It's a T-shirt. Sorry, of the Ant-Man's crushed helmet with Kang and sort of his reflection in it.
Yeah,
and that was interesting. So I didn't realise that he was like a few. There's so many variations of Kang. In fact, there's a council of Kang.
Well,
in a series.
You've got to take yourself right back
Reed Richards' future.
Ancestor as well. You've got to go back to Loki. You've got to go back to Loki. So Loki is an attempt to introduce Kang and explain Kang a little bit. So when they eventually get to the palace beyond the thing, and they end up having a chat with him, and you learn that he's Kang, he explains all this. He explains that he's actually been fighting multiple versions of himself for years, and that's why he chose to hide himself so far away, so out of the realm of any other, because Kangs are really dangerous, even to Kangs. You know what I mean? It's a weird concept. But yeah, there's rumors that he's going to be in possibly Hawkeye and Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange.
Well, it's a perfect vehicle for a multiverse storyline, isn't it? With all the variations of him, and
But man, I mean, they are getting to the nitty gritty of some of these really famous, really like underused in the movies, but overused in the comics. Bad guys like Kang, and
what's going to happen when they run out of material in the MCU? Because there's going to be storylines that they're
won't run out.
They
won't
run out.
There's going to be storylines that they I suppose with the multiverse, they could always go back and do things that they've.
Okay, take somebody like, I know we're talking about him later, but take somebody like Hawkeye. Yeah, this current run of Hawkeye is based on some of the best comic books of Hawkeye that have been out in the last 15 years or so. I can't remember which run it is or what year it is, but it's all based on that premise where Hawkeye meets Kate Bishop, and Kate Bishop is in training to be the next Hawkeye. So they really are doing it. So that's just one thread of a comic book. If they went back and chose to do something from Hawkeye's history in the 70s, that's a whole different run. It's a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And with the trouble is that they can actually do storylines that have already effectively been like made not to make sense.
Yeah.
With the series
in a way,
already done,
the opening that multiverse is a multiverse of worms, isn't it? You know, basically they've opened a can of worms because now they can do whatever they want. They don't have to explain it. They can redo it. They can reshape it. They can go back to Ant-Man, for example, the first movie, and tell you why he left that coffee cup on that side and explain that 30 movies from now. It's crazy. And it occurred to me last night when I was watching Spider-Man with Joe, because I'm thinking to myself, is there anything in this that she needs to know? And straight away, there is. Because straight away you meet Toombs, and he's cleaning up the aftermath of the Avengers fight in New York in 2012 or whenever it was. He's got all the alien tech. So I have to pause it for 5 seconds and just say, by the way, this is happening for a reason. You know what I mean?
I had to do that in Hawkeye with Sylvia at the start of Hawkeye. I had to explain the Battle of...
Just do a quick hello to Gary who's joined us.
Hey!
Gary, how you doing, mate?
Would you watch a Willy Wonka where William Shatner plays Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompas are played by lots of little John Travoltas?
Yeah.
Now, I saw something that reminded me of you the other day, Gary, and I just wondered if I took a photo.
I like about
of it.
Gary is he goes away and thinks about a question for a week, and then he's like, right, yeah, that's the right question. I'm bringing that to the boys on Monday, doing it. Nice work, Gary. I like it.
I saw something the other day, and it was Danny DeVito playing someone. I think it was Danny DeVito playing a dog or something. And it was a picture mocked up, and it just reminded me of Gary because of his brilliant.
Oh, this is Danny DeVito.
I prefer this film with Danny DeVito if he was dressed as a dog. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was one of those I saw this in thought of you, Gary moments.
Only finally said Jessica Alba's current TV series. She retired but came back and acted the last few years.
Okay. All right, cool. I just wondered. Yeah, she was one of them women that was in a lot of things, and then all of a sudden, like, disappeared out of major films. I wondered if she'd had an incident.
Oh, give over.
Very good.
Oh, nice one. Sorry, Lummy, we totally trod on the toes of your segment.
I bought a lot of Arthur Curry products. Get that one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I love his.
They never work there because they're all full of water.
Yeah.
Dive there for everybody.
Oh God,
Lummy, have you got any? Jesus, Lummy, have you got any more?
I mean, since you sidetracked my entire section, fuck you both. No, I was halfway through my section, and you went off on one about Hawkeye. What we're talking about later.
Dude, you say halfway through. You've shown one poster.
I wasn't even halfway through. Yeah,
got two posters.
Let's have a look. Oh, she got. And you have seen this show before.
I've got this one. Here we go. Look at that. I don't even know what this is.
I don't have a clue what's going on in there.
I mean, look at it. It's the airbrushing in it on the faces and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
They just don't. These are all for like these low budget things out that they stick out on, and they need some artwork to shove it on Amazon. Here's a good one though. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean, the person who made that poster needs an Oscar, really, don't they?
That was a joke on it. That Rich Gervais said at the thing.
Oh, was it?
Mm. But yeah, somebody will go. That was Gervais's joke.
Okay, well, sorry for nicking his joke.
Yeah, don't nick his joke.
Didn't realise that.
It's true.
But yeah, it's also quite an obvious joke, Ricky Gervais. I think you need to try harder.
What the hell?
Are you listening, Ricky? Are you listening?
You're listening.
If you're watching. Here we go. Another one. Melissa McCarthy on this one. Look at that airbrushing on her face.
What the hell? That looks like it's been put through one of those face-changing apps. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad that.
Put your face on this movie poster.
Yeah, which is exactly what we were saying, Webby, about the Harry Potter stuff earlier on when they were even in the latest film in Deathly Hallows 1 when they took Polyjuice potions changing to Harry, it literally looked like it was one of those face app things. The way it changed, it was such bad quality.
But I don't.
You know,
can you put that one back up again, Lummy? Because I think what they've tried to do there, because Melissa McCarthy's a big girl and she's well known for it, and more power to her. They've tried to make her face look the same size or similar to Sandra Bullock's, but they've gone a bit too far.
Yeah,
slimmer.
Odd.
Peanut head.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else we got? We've got a couple more for you. We'll go on about this. Right, the massive thing about this when it came out, this Tomb Raider film, this poster, because look at her neck at the top. They're like,
oh, weird. It bends.
Yeah.
It's got this.
Yeah. But it said about this when it came out. Everybody in the comments on Twitter, I remember when they brought this out, everybody were like, what's going on with her neck? It's like really odd. Yeah,
it is a bit.
That is really
it's like a giraffe neck, innit?
I mean, I heard this film was really good, and I just can't be arsed with it. I can't lie. The Tomb Raider franchise film's absolutely terrible. Like, even if it's good, I'm probably not going to going to go watch it. Can't be asked. Rather play the game.
Right. I didn't want to say old Martin, but you're fucking right. Every chance he gets is. What about
There's
it?
a pot of nut. There's a nut.
Is it Pothead?
Harry Potter.
Harry Pothead. Here's another one for you. Oh, you can't really see it that well. Look at Hayden Christensen in the middle, though. His head looks really weird. Can you see it?
Who was in that poster? Because my eyes are getting really bad. I'm going to...
Well, reading at the top. Yeah.
Matt Dillon, Paul Walker, Idris Elba, Jay Hernandez, Michael Ealy, something Harris. I can't really read that very well.
T. Harris, Chris Brown,
and Hayden Christensen.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I can see Idris Elba.
It's like Hayden Christensen. They've just thrown him in after. I bet they had the open auditions for it and went, he's in.
Yeah,
weird.
It's a weird one. That's
that
a really odd-looking.
It's a good one. Is a good one for you.
I mean, that's just bizarre on so many levels. It's weird how they've made Kevin James smile but look like he's not having any fun, and then the gorilla's got his arms in the air like he's having fun, but his face is.
But his face says something completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you seen the film?
No.
Do you know what? I'm going to stick up for Kevin James on this. It's an all right film, is this?
Do you know what, Lummy? I keep hearing.
You like Paul Blart, Paul Cop though, dude.
Paul Blatt's,
Now,
not Blatt too. First one. Go on, Webb.
Sorry,
I was about to say, whatever I hear about Kevin James, right, I always hear it's not his fault. So if a movie's bad, he's not the bad thing in it. And I heard the same thing about Chuck and Larry, about Paul Blatt, and about Zookeeper, that it's not him. He just happens to pick really shit movies, but he's all right in them.
Zookeeper, I'm telling you, the price hit. Zookeeper.
Could I watch it with the kid, or has it got loads of filthy jokes where it gets bumped?
I'll give you a name. I'll throw a name out for you, Webb. Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, I'm aware of her work.
She's in it.
Wow.
Her and James. Her and Kevin James doing the thing. Get it watched. You'll love it. Watch it. Kid will love it. Kid will be like, there's a talking gorilla, and that's hilarious. I've spoiled it now. Too many spoilers.
Sorry, man. Well, to be fair,
I will say this though: there's false advertising here because there's not a scene where they're on a theme park ride together.
Okay.
That does not happen in the film.
Yeah, that makes the poster even better. Really.
It's like the poster for Beverly Hills Cop 3 where they had Axel Foley stood in front of a corkscrew, and you think he's going to be on a corkscrew shooting bad guys. Not in the film.
No.
Yeah. I mean, that was the one thing missing from that movie. Robin is very he's not that picky. To be fair, one of his favourite movies at the minute, Eddie Murphy's Dr. Dolittle.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
Right. Give these people breaks.
Give us more posters, man. What else you got?
I've only got one more.
Right.
I've only got
one. Eyes.
So I was going to say, fill my eyes with your post.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's just odd. It's like, but these film posters actually came out. You know, it's like.
Is that Cameron Diaz?
Is that a sequel to The Whole Nine Yards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like, who got the jobs photoshopping these? I don't know. It's just.
I don't know. Can you make everybody look like they're a different size and stood in a really strange? It's really weird.
That's the brief. Thanks for the brief, boss. Yeah, I can make everybody look like that. So. From that section, I know it wasn't a great section tonight, but I just wanted to have a bit of fun and recommend Zookeeper to everybody.
Okay. Don't you do yourself down, Lummy? That was a lovely little section.
We've got loads of comments about Zookeeper now.
Have we? Let's have a look.
Got shot in the pig. He didn't get
shot. In the prick. In the prick.
He spelled it wrong. He don't get shot, Martin. You know he don't. You've seen it.
Shot in the prick.
Hang on. 200 pussy. She could be in Ted Danson's Loch Ness.
Oh yeah. I like it. Neck reference. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Okay.
The Loch Neck monster.
I'm gonna have to go find out where to stream that now.
Put everything in. We're moving sometimes just to the one. It's true, Gary. Gary's filmmaking. Gary makes films.
Gary, how are your movies coming along at the minute? What are you working on?
He's a very wise man. He's a wise man.
He's a very wise man.
Maybe
he's a very wise man.
Christmas wise man.
We've got we've got an opportunity, haven't we, coming up? Can we tell people about this now? I think we can. We're on the Christmas show.
Yes,
we were
definitely
talking
do
about that.
Yes,
So
Christmas
the idea is we're going to do a Christmas show on the it's Tuesday the 21st of December, and we're going to invite our audience to come on. We're going to put the link up so they can come into the room with us and actually come on camera and talk to us. So I know, Gary, you've been asking if you could come on the show and stuff, so that'll be an ample opportunity.
What we'd love is we'd love some previous guest songs. So I know we had Bulletproof Blouse came on Boxing Day last year along with some other guests. And we'd love some of our regular contributors, Martin, Big T. We just really appreciate it. And Gary as well, if you'd like to come on the show on Christmas. We're having an open house is basically what we're doing. It's All Geek to Me Christmas open house party. And that's on Tuesday, the 21st of December. It's going to be Tuesday that week as well. It's not going to be a Monday night show. It's a Tuesday the 21st. From 7:30. Sorry, Webby, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, when I say help yourself to the quality streets, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. So
help yourself to the toffees.
Yeah, you can have as many of the strawberries as you like, but you keep your hands off my hazelnut and caramel.
Bring yourself a drink. If
you bring a bottle.
I want the gold triangles. There.
And don't touch the fucking brie. You will die if you touch our brie.
Like I've done it really, that's all of my films. Everybody.
Dude, ask him.
Seriously, I reckon if you write a nice enough letter.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he doing at the minute? What's Danny DeVito up to?
He's doing all sorts, mate. He never stops, Danny DeVito.
He's making Twins 3 or whatever it's... No, Twins 2, triplets.
Yeah, he's still doing... Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which that show got phenomenally better when he was in it, when he appeared in it.
Can I have a hazel finger?
What? Yeah, you can. You can have a sticky finger. You like?
The hazel finger in quality.
You can have a fudge, Martin. You can have a fudge.
You can have a finger. Why not? Everybody gets a finger if they come to our party.
A hazel finger.
So it's actually a toffee finger in Quality Streets.
Toffee penny.
It's a toffee penny and a toffee finger. It's got a chocolate covered finger.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What's the triangle called?
This is the chat that people are signing in for, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it.
Folks, what are your favourite Quality Streets? And
whoa.
Tell us on the Christmas versus show. Quality Streets.
We'll do it on the Christmas show. We'll do an unwrapping video of Quality Streets for you.
We do have some presents for each other as well.
Yeah. Depending on the good old Royal Mail postage, we will.
That's very true, because mine's got to get to my house and then from here to your individual houses.
I got a similar problem. I'm still waiting for one of Rich's to show up so I can send everything in one fell swoop through the post.
That's fair.
Hopefully, we'll be all right. Got plenty of time. But yes, Christmas.
Okay, so thank you, Lummy, for all those posts. So yes, so 21st of December, we've got our Christmas show with our open house, and we would love for all of you. And we will advertise it beforehand. We'll stick a little video up on both, maybe on Lummy's channel, but we'll put one up on It's All Geek to Me as well, and on the Facebook channel, just to remind you.
Is anybody having trouble like I am this year? I'm trying to watch some Christmas specials and Christmas movies, and they're not making me feel very Christmassy.
Dude, I've been watching. I'm nailing it. I've already watched all 3. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen last night. Boom. I've got them on while I'm doing stuff. I'm like, I'm going to watch. But what I do, I start off with the low-key films first. I don't go in straight away with lampoons. That's your Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I can't do well for Home Alone yet because it's
no.
That's why we did the Harry Potters first.
Yeah.
And then we might do like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, sort of the vaguely, are they Christmas? Are they not? And then get into your that's the way to do it.
So get your Tim Allens out of the way early on. That's my advice.
Okay. Right. Well, I've watched a few.
What have you got for us this week, dude? Because you had.
I had a little thought the other day about superpowers. So my kid's pretty obsessed with superhero powers at the minute. So
what would his superpower be? What would he like to have?
I had this discussion with him today. He can't decide between super strength or flying.
Right.
Yeah. So it brought me on to thinking. We all want the superpowers. If you had to pick one, what superpower would you pick? Blah, 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 blah. I thought, right, we don't live in a comic book world. Would these powers actually be useful in the real world? Or would they be detrimental? So it's like a segment that's basically the downside of superpowers, right?
Like
So I'm going to
Cyclops'
give
eyes,
you
for
guys.
example.
I'm going to give you guys a superpower, and we're going to pick it apart a bit and see what the downside would be. Like, basically, just a disclaimer in case nobody's watching the show has guessed yet. None of us are scientists or physicists, so it's going to be pretty like done in layman's terms.
Speak for yourself,
I'm
Webby.
sure the physicists will be able to explain why things are so dodgy. So my first one I got to discuss is flight, the power of flight, right? When I was a kid, like other people, I had that dream of running down the playground at school and slowly bouncing until I'm getting a bit more air, I'm getting a bit more whoa, and then my feet are off the floor and I'm off. Yeah, and that's great. I wake up, happy days, amazing. I just dreamt I could fly. I think that dreaming I can fly is probably better than flying because I've got too many questions, right? If you decide you're just going to go into your garden and take off, like, how do you know how fast you're going? Like, are you going to break your neck if you go too fast? How much time do you need to slow down before you land? Where are you going to land? Have you got a map in your brain? Like, if I'm setting off from Leeds and I want to go see Gittins in London, do I know when to stop? Am I going to lose track of what's going on underneath me? Have I got a
There's a helipad at Ali Pali. You could just...
Oh, that's sorted then. But no, but when do I need to slow down? When you fly in a plane, the pilot has to plan every last like bit of the journey. When he's going to speed up, when he's going to slow down, when he's going to lift off, all that shit. Wheels
so
down.
This is going to be So if you go over a military airbase or anything like that, are they going to suddenly set tornadoes and hurricane jets at you and try and like torpedo you out of the sky?
Yeah.
But birds and bird shit and stuff like that. I guess if you're flying at a height and their shit, if you get hit by that could be quite painful.
Yeah. I'll get sucked into a plane engine, chopped into pieces.
Flying too high, running out of breath, shortness of breath. Obviously,
see, this is the thing, right?
Altitude sickness because you've got no pressurized cabin.
In essence, being able to fly is a great idea, but what about the planning that comes with it? So if I land, do I need to be super strong as well? Because if I land, am I going to break my fucking legs as I come in for a landing?
Yeah.
Mine's got a question.
No.
Right.
Just, having a kid brings these things to my mind.
We all know from movies that if you're flying at a certain height and like a bullet goes through the window, then everything gets sucked through that tiny little hole because of the pressure of the cabin versus outside. So what happens if you open your mouth? Or do you have to put earplugs in because your ear holes?
Yeah. Are you going to go deaf?
Out when you get to?
Yeah. Are you going to like? I mean, because anything below. So okay, I imagine.
Does it suck your pee out your body?
Yeah, I'm going to take off like Iron Man and go shooting around the world. Boom, I'm off, right? But yeah, you're right. I mean, what happens if I fart? Am I going to blow myself off course? Am I going to? I don't know. Too many variables, man. That's what I was sort of interested in.
Why don't you stay low and fly down the road?
Signposts, things like that. There's always things in the way.
I think maybe that's the most sensible thing to do is to not get carried away.
Don't go, I'm off, boom, into the atmosphere and go, shit.
Just flap gently. Keep your eye on where you're going. Don't break any speed barriers because you won't hurt yourself. And then that kind of takes the fun out of it. If you're just flapping around.
Big C.
So that was my first one. Flight.
Well, we got Martin's just put this, so I've got to read it. We've got to read it out. But it's I had Carol singers outside my shop for 12 hours straight Saturday. It started fun, but I realised one, I only have 10 songs. 2, it was my Milli Vanilli style, and 3, they wouldn't. I guess that's supposed to be wouldn't take requests.
Oh my God, they won't even take requests.
Yeah, was that request shut the fuck up?
I mean, you're right, Martin.
Mine, Lummy always has a look of what the fuck he's talking about on his face. I mean,
I'm still thinking about Tim Allen on, Santa Claus movies. I'm thinking about the plot hole in the third one. I just can't get it. Anyway, it don't matter.
I phoned him earlier on before the show. Well, about lunchtime this afternoon, and it just all I could hear. It took about 30 seconds to answer the phone, and all I could hear was, "The moon is red. Simply have it." I'm like, "Oh, mate, you don't do this ironically, do you? You actually do listen to like."
I was doing my emailing, and I had a bit of Paul McCartney. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
There's a little bit of me thinking, actually, just before you made that call, Lummy was just sat in darkness, really sad, really like
Oh,
Not
somebody's
the
calling.
Lummy we know. So the thing, oh God, I've got to put on this fucking character again.
Okay,
Webby!
right. Just going back to my topics, right? My next one, again, seems like a great idea in theory. Super strength. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know much about science, as I've already stated. I might look it, but I'm not a scientist. But what I do know about science, right, is that when you do stuff happens. So if I were to suddenly go outside, and lift a truck, right, my feet are going to be embedded in like 6 foot of fucking concrete because it has to go. You know what I mean? It has to go somewhere.
That's not
Yeah.
how that works.
No,
that's
it
not
would.
how that works.
It would. So, but there's
If
also
stood
the
in mud or
practicalities of it.
quicksand, maybe, but not concrete.
Hang on.
I always
hang on.
wonder-
Hang on. What? Have you got super strength while you're doing this?
Yeah,
You'd be fine then, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I'm not a
It doesn't matter.
scientist.
Your legs would
Oh,
snap.
mind it
You wouldn't go into the.
You
I
wouldn't
know,
go into the
right.
concrete.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
only
the
made of
truck would
concrete,
go
but
into
if you
the
were stood on
concrete.
if you stood on the grass, your feet would go into the mud.
I
So you've got
bet
to
if it
displace
was
that energy
wet-
somewhere.
If it was
Yeah,
wet.
but you're picking up the.
The minutia.
He's thinking
So
that
what?
extra. What he's thinking is that all
I
that
love how none
extra
of them are
weight
scientific
makes
enough to
more
explain.
force. No,
You're a
what
scientist.
he's
What?
thinking is
Can you
all
explain
that
whether his feet would go through ground?
Yeah, because he's thinking all that extra weight on a smaller surface area obviously is a greater force on the ground than it would be as it's spread out on 4 wheels, for example,
it's
or
balanced.
12
Yeah.
wheels, or how many
Everything
wheels
has to be
trucks got.
balanced.
But it wouldn't go through the concrete. If it was a
Maybe not
wet
concrete.
field, then
In
it
the
would
original
go- it would go
Superman,
through
the
there.
little lad picks up the back of the truck and he don't go anywhere.
That's a
But,
film, Rummy.
but that's a film.
Doesn't matter.
I'm talking
Still
if you
based
apply
on
that to
science.
real life.
We're talking real life.
So
super strength.
when Superman becomes Clark Kent to hide his identity and goes to work at the Daily Planet and has a cup of coffee, if he's thinking about what he did last night or he's thinking about fighting a bad guy, he might accidentally forget that he's supposed to be using the human level of strength and he's going to smash through that coffee cup. So that must be fucking exhausting to constantly think, oh, hang on a minute, I need to be at this level. Otherwise, I'm going to shake this guy's hand and I'm going to rip his fucking arm off. You know what I mean? You know,
when you're really happy to see someone and you're firmer with a handshake. Yeah, Superman could crush every bone in your hand if he gets carried away.
I'll never know, Martin, because we did ask Professor Brian Cox to show up on the show tonight, but he told us to go fuck ourselves. So I'll never know.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that wherever he is, he's agreeing with me. Thinking,
So what else we got? What else we got after Super Strength?
You're not explaining it very well, Webby, but I get your point. Well, I just think that there's so many pitfalls with super strength. Wiping your ass, getting amorous with your lady. You've got to remember what level of strength you're at. So how does Superman control that? Mm-hmm. How do any of these super strong superheroes?
Would super strength affect, for example, like when you sneeze? Would you kind of just completely demolish it in any way? Because when you sneeze, that is a hell of a lot of force coming out your nose.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast it is.
Well, you put your hand over your mouth. Oh, you go like that. Be all right. Because his hand could take it.
His hand could. You're absolutely right, Lummy. But what if he was rude? What if he had no manners?
Oh, what?
He was like,
I reckon the Christopher Reeve version would have manners. I reckon the other guy wouldn't give a shit.
Yes. What, Dean?
Dean? He wouldn't even shave his frigging mustache.
What's he called? Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Oh, the laser.
He'd be like, I'm going to sneeze all you motherfuckers out of here. And he'd be like,
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
although I couldn't save his dad.
If you were sat next to Lois Lane and she tried to do the thing that you do for your partner when you try and catch a sneeze or something like that, it'd blow her hand off.
Blows her hand off. Just like,
oh, I'm sorry, baby. You should have just let me sneeze. But yeah, I think if you've got super strength, you can catch a super sneeze. But if you haven't,
or if you have an argument at home and you storm out the house and you're like, you slam the door and suddenly the whole front of your house falls off.
Yeah. Or Joanna says passes the remote and I throw it at her and launches through the fucking wall. Launches through the wall is the big Joanna.
I mean, you'd have to be very careful. Is what you're saying, innit? You'd have to be very careful.
Strength is one that you would have to be very careful with.
You know, it's that old thing, innit, that you have in the comic books, really. That hey, Hey, Spidey fans! With great power comes great responsibility. I put that in a few of my books.
Do you know what, Stan? You're looking. Thanks for popping by the show today. You're looking really well for a ghost. You look brilliant. It's nice to see you, Stan.
So my next one that I think would be really inconvenient, and I think this might be because I've had a cold for about a week and a half, and my ears are completely blocked. It's super hearing. Now I'm funny about my ears.
That would do my head.
Not like tinnitus. Now Superman's hearing is so powerful he can hear the heartbeat of every single individual living creature on this planet. That's fucking inconvenient, man.
Yeah.
Basically, he's just hearing this all the time, really loud in his head. How does he tune it out? How does he control it? What does he do?
Because hearing isn't something that you can turn the volume down inside your own head.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I mean, the place that I was living in before this, I had noisy neighbours and it was a shared house, and I was very sensitive to noise.
You do go through phases, don't you, where your hearing feels like it's super powered or like you're picking up too much. I get
super hearing, not for me.
That sucks, right? And plus,
Is there any superheroes? Well, I guess Daredevil's got super senses, hasn't he, with the hearing and that? But blind.
Yeah, but I think he's got control over it somewhat.
Right. I'm just saying, is there any other superheroes who've got super hearing that? With
Spider-Man,
without any other powers,
senses, though. Yeah.
I mean, some of them might do, but none of them make as much of a big deal about it as Superman does. It's a thing. Oh, just heard something. Sorry about. I've got to go, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he does seem like he can tune into it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think.
Else, like you say, he'd be driving.
But that would be like, for example, if you're listening to a song. And you're listening to 5 instruments in a song, but then you can tune into the guitar part or the drum part or something like that. That's the same as that. It's not a case of making in other things quieter.
But it must have some tough choices to make, right?
It's focusing the hearing as opposed to controlling the volume.
I'm trying to think of a simple thing that could happen. Let's say in Canada, a tree falls on a lumberjack and the lumberjack yells for help. But at the same time, in Cambodia, a guy's just got his fucking arm stuck in a machine that's about to chew him up. At that point, if you could super hear, which direction are you going to go?
Go get the one that's going to chew the guy up, wouldn't you? Because it's more instant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because, I don't want to make those choices. That's a simple analogy, but when it comes to things like if you have to decide who gets murdered and who gets saved, you know what I mean? Then that's a tough one.
If a tree falls over on somebody in Canada, and then a tree falls over on somebody.
It's probably a bad example because nobody gives a shit.
And it's the same idea, same thing. Who do you go to first?
Yeah, who do you save? I mean, and also, how much time does it take to make that decision? Okay, I could go save this old man that's being mugged in New York City right now, or I could go help that 4-year-old who's just fallen into a swimming pool.
I think that would come down to gut instinct.
It can turn back time though, anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but at the expense of taking the planet off its axis.
You can go get one of them and go. Maybe just go. I'm not going. Well, there'll always be somebody. There's always crime, isn't there? So everywhere in the city, he'll have to make.
He has to prioritise.
It won't work, would it? Because there'd be crime every second of the
all
day.
The time. Yeah,
and the same with Spider-Man as well.
Or maybe he don't care. Maybe it's just like just heard somebody get knifed to death in New York. Not bothered. He's just like, look, Lois Lane's like, what are you doing? It's like,
okay, so we watched Spider-Man. We watched Spider-Man, as I said already last night, and in that, when he's waiting around for Iron Man and Happy to get back in touch, he spends the day. He helps an old lady. He stops a guy breaking into his own car. He finds a bike that has no owner, and they make a joke of it, right? But how many rapes and murders and fucking robberies happened in that time? It's New York. Surely there's one every 3 minutes in New York.
They might have thought the light-hearted tone of the movie might be taken down.
Maybe this is what I'm getting wrong. This is why I had to have this conversation with you guys and not Robin, because if Robin goes, Dad, would you like super strength or super hearing? And like, well, I think you'll find they're both pretty fucking. You're not thinking about this right, son.
Well, there's so many murders in New York, son.
Think about the murders. So yeah, there's all kinds of downsides.
Any other superpowers you want to discuss?
Yeah, there's a few, but I'm going to skip one because I've just realised that one of the shows that handles this quite well is The Boys. All the superheroes make it balls up. So super speed, for example, is a downside for me.
Yeah.
Because if you've got super speed, you need super calloused feet. You need feet with like iron plating on the bottom of them. Otherwise, you're going to run to London and you're going to run your legs down to the knees.
Yeah.
You're just going to run through. You're going to eventually
you need
come
some
apart.
sort of special costume or armor that is going to
Yeah. And then if you run into somebody like he does in The Boys, boof, you're going to explode that person.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about super speed for one sec? I'm sick of seeing these films where they slow everything down.
Are you just watched Sonic the Hedgehog by any chance?
Oh, no, I haven't. No, I've not seen it actually.
It's on Netflix, and Robin started watching it yesterday, and that exact same thing. It's completely. He's going so fast, everything, and he's messing around
with the
people.
Flash all the time. Don't they slow everything down, and you see him putting, moving bullets and all that. You see it so much. I'm like, all right, we get it. It's fast.
Yeah, but sometimes they did it really well in X-Men, where they showed Quicksilver doing it, and he's running around that. I think it's a prison. And they did it superbly well, where he's putting people in the wrong place and he's undoing people's ties and all some crazy shit, flicking things. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's only been a few years since that came out and it's already been overdone.
Yeah, they do it all. I mean, I don't know how else you'd show it, but it's like, how many times? I don't know.
That's the downside, isn't it? If you don't do that, then you've got to watch a Sonic the Hedgehog movie that you can't see anything because he's literally moving. It's over.
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds long, that entire film. Wow, okay.
How was Jim Carrey in it? I was Jim in Sonic.
He was only in it for 2 minutes because the bit we saw, it starts and he's being chased by Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. And then it gives you a bit of an origin story. And I never knew, I don't know if this is canon or what, but I never knew that Sonic the Hedgehog was an alien.
Well, I didn't know that
in this film, it's the premise.
An hedgehog who were blue.
No, it's like an alien from an alien planet, and a Green Hill Zone from the original game is like his home planet.
Oh,
yeah.
Weird.
I mean, all I can say about it is thank God they went with a different Sonic because you saw the Sonic before this Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Remember? We showed some pictures and everybody went, "I don't think so." So they shit themselves and just remade the entire Sonic just in case they upset like 3 people. So yeah, super speed, downside. I've got telepathy down here as well. I think that's a bad thing. I think if we could all read each other's minds, would you?
You would.
Yeah, because that is something
you'd really want to know what I think about you, man.
No, but that is something. I'm assuming that is something you can turn on and off.
So you can control people and what they do, basically, can't you? And so it'd be useful for auditions, wouldn't it?
Useful auditions, useful for getting a mortgage, useful for quite a lot of things.
Yeah, useful for.
I don't think I'd want to use it on a date because I think that's probably a bit too manipulative. That's too manipulative.
You do that, man. Hands down. I bet you would be straight in with that. That's the first thing you do.
I think.
I mean, you probably become so dependent on the telepathy. You do it without even thinking about it when you could have just not done it. But you're thinking, I may as well do it. I've got this gift.
Maybe, but I think if telepathy is something that you can switch on and off, I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives.
What's the first thing you do then if you had telepathy? What would you do first?
I would probably go and convince a rich person to give me some money.
I was just going to say lottery numbers. I'd get the money thing sorted out first. I'd win the lottery a couple of times, and then I'd let somebody else.
How would you win the lottery with telepathy?
Because I'd read the number. I don't know. Yeah, that's
how would that work? That wouldn't work,
is it? It's not the right thing. Yeah. I'd probably have to do what you do and straight away go fleece some rich old lady.
No, not old lady. No, stop with the.
That's what you said, right?
No,
and then go on your illegal date with the money.
You insisted on old lady.
Rewind the footage. You'll find it says old lady.
You're a set of bastards. I was talking about like some horrible rich old prick.
Oh, what about the what do you call them? The space people who spent all money on spaceships. You could go on.
Yes, exactly. Like like a Richard Branson or a Jeff Bezos or someone like that.
Yeah, I probably would honestly, I would probably go sit in the Houses of Parliament for a couple of days and see what the truth is behind some of this bullshit that comes out there.
Interesting.
I've always
That's
had
a
this.
great
A long time ago, when we were talking, probably with you, Rich, or you, Lummy, like when we were talking about superpowers before, but one superpower I really would like to have is to know the truth, right?
Yeah.
All this element of doubt about whether it's a conspiracy theory, going back as fucking, going back throughout time. I'd like to know. I'd like to have the power to be able to say, and it's, oh no, I've just nicked it. I've nicked it off Carl Pilkington. Remember he said I'd like a bullshit detector, and you just fly through the window and you go bullshit, and you fucking leave. That's basically what I would like. Yeah, but he's onto something. I'd love to do that. I'd love to be like, he's lying.
But as more often than not, Carl Pilkington is onto something. That is the genius of Carl Pilkington.
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is a very Carl Pilkington conversation. Anyway, take something really cool and find the bad thing in it. You know what I mean?
Well, then what's the next superpower?
The next one is, again, this seems like I'm going to combine these two. It's my last one, right?
Okay.
Immortality / regenerative powers. Right?
So with regenerative powers, you mean if I chop my arm off, I can grow my arm back again?
Yeah, or if you cut yourself, it just heals.
Yeah.
Which seems like a good thing until you get to the age that Wolverine is and you want to actually die, but every time you try to die, you bring yourself back. It's not really a way to kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there is. I should have done a bit more research on this. I'm sure there is a way to kill Wolverine that I've completely forgotten about. In fact, one of the movies, he gets drowned, doesn't he? He gets put under the water and he gets impaled on a spike and then something lands on top of him. So he needs to lift the thing off him, pull himself off the spike and not drown while still regenerating. So it is a complicated one for me. I mean, I've never wanted to live forever.
So he can drown.
I don't know. I think he's pretty much survived almost everything. I mean, you've both seen Logan, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember how he dies in Logan. Is it that?
Can any of you guys remember how he dies in Logan? Feel free to comment. When I said any of you guys, I meant the audience, not you, Lummy. I didn't start but that's fine.
I can't remember what happens. I remember the end of the movie. They're in the woods, and
I certainly would not want to live forever. That much is true. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, it says here, the short answer is yes, Wolverine can die, and as many times in the comic books, Wolverine's first foray into the afterlife came in 1981 when he was killed by a robot called a Sentinel in the Days of Future Past series. Sentinel's energy blast melts the flesh of his body so it cannot regenerate. There you go.
Okay. So if you evaporate him, that's one way of getting rid of him. Right? Stripping away his skin. So if there's nothing left. Because if you even leave a fragment,
you burn him to ashes, then
because if you leave a fragment of bone, that bone can regenerate itself. Yeah.
Here you go. Right. So it says here, can Wolverine be permanently killed? Yes, Wolverine can technically be killed. In Ultimate X-Men number 12, Sabretooth has the light bulb idea to try drowning him. How does a healing factor fix a suffocated brain? Essentially, the reasoning was that while Logan's body could heal all the way to perfect condition, the brain would still be rendered inoperable.
Okay.
Interesting.
And the other thing is, does regeneration work, right? So if you cut Wolverine's hand off somehow, getting through the adamantium shell and right down to the bone and cut his hand off, if you place that hand somewhere else, would it not regenerate?
Wolverine grow?
Yeah. Would it work backwards as well? Would another Wolverine grow out of the stump? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
But it would be like a thick Wolverine, like a really unintelligent Wolverine with a really skilled hand.
Surely it's got to be the main thing of him. Like if you chopped his head off, would his head grow back? No.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the point of cut? What's the cut-off point? No pun intended. Yeah. So if we chopped his arm off, Wolverine's body attached to his head, because it's still attached to the nervous system, would grow the arm back. But what's the last point you could chop away before it regrows?
Don't know.
I know we're all thinking about his dick, aren't we? We're all thinking about Wolverine's dick.
Actually, no. There's literally, I'm pretty sure. I know Lummy wouldn't be.
Nah, he is. He's always thinking about it.
Are you always thinking about Wolverine's dick, Lummy?
No, I'm thinking about
Come on,
Santa
Lummy.
Claus.
You're amongst friends now.
Thinking
You're
about
still
Santa
talking about
Claus
Tim
ring.
Allen. Tim Allen's dick.
Oh, that's the
It's
best
just-
one as well. That one's got Martin Frosted as Jack Snow. Jack Frost. Martin Short.
Martin Short. Martin Short as Jack Frost. Yeah.
Martin Frost. Jack Short. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well,
Oh, my
Webby,
God.
thank you very much for
That's all right.
posing
I mean,
those.
to be honest, guys, I
those
think I'm more
moral
confused than I was when I
conundrums to
started.
us. Excellent, and that is what we're here for.
Good.
Brilliant. Well, folks, if you wanted to have a superhero power, what would your superhero power be? But while you're letting us know, we're going to talk about a superhero who actually doesn't technically have much of a power. Because I don't know about you folks, but I'm really enjoying the new series of Hawkeye. I mean, that is the Christmas. That is at the moment serving as a brilliant little Christmas kind of gift. Really, it's little dose of Christmas every Wednesday.
It's got that Shane Black factor for me. It's got that Christmas,
Mhm.
that sharp writing, decent
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
It's great.
Lummy was right, by the way. Again, as he often is, they have most of the jokes that they showed in the trailers, in the very extensive trailers. I mean, we must have seen about 10 minutes of this series before the series ever aired in the various trailers and promos and things like that. And you're right, Lummy, most of them have been in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah. They're saving the big stuff out there.
Absolutely.
we're
And that's the
getting
thing,
closer
because
to some of this reported big stuff we're getting closer to. So,
Do you guys, do you know what this dog is about? Is there a dog? I know there's a dog in the DC universe, isn't there, that can talk and that, but I keep wondering what this dog's. And I've not looked at spoilers or anything.
This dog. I haven't either. I think
I've
there's more
got
to
a
the
theory
dog
about
than
it, and I
meets
think
its one eye.
I think it's so crackpot that it might even be right, but it would be a shot in the dark if I was right about it.
Fine.
And I haven't seen anybody talk. I haven't watched any spoiler or Easter egg videos of this.
No.
I had the first time I saw that dog. I thought, why has he got one eye closed? Why has he got one eye? And then I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Didn't Nick Fury just do something where people can change shape? And I thought, is the dog fucking Nick Fury? It's a long shot. I know that. But,
I thought more along the lines it's something to do with a dad, like it's a dad in that dog or something. The dog died. You know,
there is
the
all
dad
that
died.
element of what's up, because at the minute you think her mum's a good guy, but her mum might not necessarily be a good guy. She's too close to all
totally.
these bad guys, and she's
exactly.
too rich to be a good guy.
There's got to
And
be some
something
sort of
dodgy
twist
happened
there,
with the dad.
hasn't it, with the blame?
Yeah, the dad was doing something dodgy at the start when he said, "I'm going down to my study," and we're on the phone. No, they were arguing about something.
They had an argument, and she was listening to the argument in a room as the Battle of New York was happening in the background.
Yeah,
and then she went downstairs. Her dad came and said something to her like, "Don't worry, I'll come back," or something like that. And then her mum came in, and when she said, "Is Dad all right?" her mum didn't say anything. She didn't even acknowledge it. She didn't reply. She just carried on moving her out of this building that was falling apart around them. So, yeah, is it a case of the mum's up to something? The mum's a baddie.
I think there's definitely a red herring with. Well, I think there's a red herring with her stepdad. With
possibly. But the thing I'm starting to notice, especially in episode 3, is this. It feels like you said, either Kang or Kingpin or somebody like that is coming up. So
I think it's going to be Kingpin.
I think it is as well, because I think didn't they show a bit as well? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a bit where they showed young Kate, and somebody came into camera shot, and you could see his arm had a suit on, and he had big, ginormous sausage fingers and a cufflink, and you just saw this arm in a black suit coming towards her to shake her hand or pat her on the head or something like that in a flashback. I mean, and I just got really strong. And there was a laugh. There was like a Kingpin-y laugh. Like it sounded like Vincent D'Onofrio from the Daredevil show. So I reckon, there could be. Yeah, man.
Look at
You're thinking of Domino from Deadpool.
Yeah.
Or Felix Felicis from Harry Potter.
Felix Felicis, the potion, yeah. But let it be known, Martin, that Webby referenced Harry Potter there. It was not me.
Yeah.
That's all right if I do it.
But you would
also
have done
let
it.
it be known that when I was doing it, I was slagging off the TV,
No, you
like,
don't have to
criticising
defend
the
Harry Potter.
films.
Don't worry.
I was criticising the films when I mentioned it.
I know.
Don't worry
But
about
yeah,
it.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
so,
yes, so Kingpin, yes.
strong vibes that something could be happening. I'd love to see him come back, and I want it to be the same Kingpin. I thought he did a fantastic job at playing it. I mean, for those of you that haven't seen Daredevil, the best thing about it is he plays it very calm and very collected and very like something's bubbling under the surface. And when you finally see him snap, he absolutely kicks the fuck out of Daredevil. He's strong, he's fast, he's just
Didn't he appear in
demonic.
Jessica Jones as well?
I can't remember, man. I didn't watch them all. I drifted off with Jessica Jones. The first season was great. David Tennant was amazing. He was one of the best bad guys ever.
Brilliant.
Amazing power.
It took me ages to realise it was even David Tennant. I was just so kind of caught up in what I was watching. It was like 3 episodes in. I was like, holy fuck, that that's
Do
David
you know what?
Tennant.
Do you know what? I felt like that with the Santa Claus films.
The interesting thing about
Tim Allen, like lost in the Santa. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you're saying.
I can see
I'm like,
that.
man,
Yeah.
I forgot you were in this. I forgot you were in it.
Did you by any chance see that tweet that he put out the other day? Is that what made you want to watch him?
No, I just put them on.
Tim Allen had put a tweet on Twitter of him sat in his chair at home saying, I don't know what it is about this time of year. And he's got a big beard. So it's this time of year every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just appears on my face. Wink, wink. And then,
I'd have watched them doubly over if that was
exactly,
that.
Exactly, I know. But yeah, just back to Hawkeye for a sec. I really am looking forward to the next one. I can't believe there's only 6 because I don't feel like we're close enough to the end yet. Do you know what I mean?
I agree because it feels like if stuff's going to happen, it's got to happen in this next episode.
Yeah, the next 2 episodes.
I mean, with 3 episodes in, it doesn't feel like a huge amount of actually happening at the minute. It's brilliant, but they're only like 36 minutes long each episode so far. They've been very, very short. I think the build was like 47 minutes, but 7 minutes of that is the
credits
credits at the end. Yeah.
It's really well done. I'm enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it. She's great.
I was just going to say she's brilliant. Them 2 together as well. They're really good. Really good. Really fun.
Are you more interested in him in the series than you were in the Avengers movies?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's getting his own time. I mean, the trouble with them films, there's so much cast in it. They can't spend that long on them, can they? And he didn't get the luxury of having his own film before, the Avengers. So
that's what
like
maybe is
Hulk
missing.
and
Maybe that's
Thor
making up.
and...
This series is making up for that a little.
But
bit.
would you have wanted to watch? Do you think you'd have wanted to watch an entire movie, or do you think that the TV series format works better for this particular character / this particular story that they're telling?
I think it does. I think some of these things don't need movies. I think it works much better. I do. I think this is the case. If I don't know,
you just said though,
like movie, as much as it were okay, I wasn't. If I'd have watched that as a Disney Plus series split up, fine.
I completely agree. I think that would have worked better. It felt like a letdown as a movie because they didn't spend enough time. Like this has got that luxury of spending a little bit of time. But like Richard just said, if there's only 6 episodes and around about 40 minutes a piece, then that's only a 4-hour movie, if that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is an Avengers film, that is.
Which is one of
Infinity
the
War,
or
right.
a 2-parter, 2-hour films or something. So I haven't got the maths right on that, I know, but yeah, it feels like it could have been a movie, and this would have been just as good. But for some reason, it works as a TV show. I'm liking it.
No, it is brilliant. What do you think of the Steve Rogers the musical?
That was one of the most genius bits of cheese, deliberate, like self-referential, fucking like what we do as humans, putting it in the Marvel. That's exactly what they would do.
Yeah,
like,
and also it's guaranteed they won't do that as well. Some asshole in the musical thing ain't gonna do it because they'll go, "Oh no, wait, what?"
Yeah, I reckon they're gonna make it. And what was really cool about it was they made it look like the poster from Hamilton.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
it's like based on the image of Hamilton with the star.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So that was really cool. And it's filmed. They filmed that bit in the real theater in Broadway, and just
It's good. It was good. I like the fact that he says, "Well, then he goes, Ant-Man wasn't even there." You know,
Oh God! And what does he sing
No,
as
it
well? He
was brilliant.
sings the line that he says in every film, doesn't he?
It's great, Amanda. You're absolutely right. It's awesome. It's really funny.
Yeah, it was really cool. But he sings that line that he says in every film, some cheesy like, "I could do this all day." That's it.
I could do this all day.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I liked it. I even like the fact that the costumes are awful, but they're deliberately awful, and they actually look like the way they drew these guys in the 70s and 60s. So Hawkeye's costume is the reason everybody hates him. He didn't get a decent costume until
that's what she talks about, though. His USP, his image.
Oh yeah,
all out
she draws the
whack.
costume, doesn't she? Oh, you look better with these fucking things. It's like what? Yeah, it's clever. It's really cool.
It's a really, I mean, it's a really tasteful take on a not as popular Marvel character. I mean, if you like go through the Avengers, you know, Hawkeye, would he be your favorite? Would he be many people's favorite? But they've just really made him like very, very interesting, and he's a great actor as well.
If I put myself in the same, the way I would have thought about this 10 years or so ago, right? If you'd have told me there was going to be a show of Wanda and Vision, and there was going to be one of Loki, and there was one of Hawkeye, and one of blah blah blah, I probably would have said we don't fucking need all that. Yeah, we don't need all that. It's over.
To be honest,
you're going to ruin it. And now,
about 8 months ago, we did say, "Do we need a Hawkeye TV series?"
Yeah.
We
now
did say that.
Yeah, I do. I don't need it, but I like it.
Okay, if this wasn't set at Christmas and being aired at Christmas, do you think it would lose some of that kind of magic that it's got?
Well, do you know what's genius about it is that whole "I'll be home for Christmas" thing.
Yeah.
He keeps talking to his kids every week. He's saying, "Oh, I'll be back in 5 days. Oh, I'm not going to make it. I'm stuck here. I've got to do this."
Miss movie night.
And you've got that whole like setup for
the
Christmas morning when he finally gets home. He sees the kids and everything's right.
You reckon? I reckon she's going back home with him, ain't she, as well? I think the mother's going to die, or she's going to be a big bad person.
Mate, I really have no clue, but
I reckon that's my prediction.
Hawkeye could die. This could all be a setup for Hawkeye to die to replace him with a new Hawkeye. I thought it was really sweet in the last episode where he said that guy that told you were one of the best on the planet. He wasn't lying. I thought it was so fucking cool when he turned around and gave her a compliment. It was like, you're good at this.
That arc's been really good as well because he was so cynical when he first turned up at her apartment. And
it was so funny. She was asking him all the questions.
I don't think they're going to kill him. I don't think they're going to kill him
either.
I don't think they will. I think
he'll retire gracefully. I don't think she'll go home. Or maybe she will go home with them for Christmas. Maybe. She seems quite
I think there's more the mother and the father story, and I think it's all going to come out, and then she's going to end up getting killed. That's my prediction.
I mean, possibly, yeah. And she's a great character. His wife is barely in it, but she's a great actress. She's sort of given a really good role to Linda Cardellini, who's actually really, really good. And she's barely in any of it, but when she's on screen, you notice her. You know she's there. You know Hawkeye's wife's cool. So I would be sad if that happened. I'm really sad. I think she's cool.
What do we think about the character that was introduced in the 3rd episode? The female.
Remind me.
It's like, she's the leader of the tracksuit mafia or whatever.
They're fucking brilliant, by the way.
They are hilarious. Yeah.
Trust the bro. That is a great great slogan for the company. Yeah. Trust the bro. Yeah. I love that they just keep saying it all the time. Yeah. Bro, what do you do? Bro, when do you do this? They're great, man. I think it's all great. It's cool.
But what do you think about her as a character? And do we think that she's working for Kingpin or?
I don't know.
Do we think they're going to have much more to do with it?
To show up. I thought it was going to be the lady from Black Widow.
Yeah.
What's she called?
I can't remember.
I know the actress's name. Yelena something or other. The Russian lady from her sister from Black Widow.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Who's now been set up as a
blonde one. Yeah.
Because at the end of that, she's after Hawkeye.
She's after Hawkeye. Exactly. She blames him for everything.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
So that's who I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this curveball. So maybe she's coming into it later or not in it at all.
Or maybe a
Because
movie.
they're kind of
maybe.
almost setting her up to be the main villain, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah.
But she can't.
I think
Be,
when they
unless
were
bringing Kingpin in for another series, or
if they're going to use Kingpin, they may as well do that, and he may as well have his finger like he does in the comic books. He fights Daredevil, he fights Spider-Man, he fights Hawkeye. There's a whole run where he fights Hawkeye. You know what I mean? So he's a pretty big. I mean, as Marvel villains go, he's in like the top 5 at least that you don't always think of, but he is integral to the Marvel world. You know,
how much of a part of all this was Doctor Doom? Because he was more the Fantastic Four, wasn't he? But I used to remember a load of Spider-Man stuff with Doctor Doom. I don't know why.
Yeah. Doctor Doom started out in Fantastic Four as one of the main villains.
Right.
But we forget, in Britain, Fantastic Four has never been that popular. But in America, it's always been massively popular.
Well, no, we had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, where they featured, they appeared.
Yeah. There's been a lot of crossovers. So basically, if they live in New York or if they go to New York every so often, they're going to come across Kingpin, they're going to come across Norman Osborn, they're going to come across the guy you were just on about. What's his name?
Doc Ock.
And
sorry, no, Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. Yeah, so, and also, the way they used to introduce these characters to a new world was they would have Spider-Man in a few issues of those early Fantastic Fours. You know what I mean? So there's been talk of him even joining the Fantastic Four at one point, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking brilliant. That was brilliant.
Brilliant.
When he made him fight him, it was great. And the guy was just like, look, man, thanks for that. That's the best fucking thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, it was awesome. Lappers.
Yeah, it's a really good series. It's a really, really good series. Have you guys got anything else that you'd like to add about
Hawkeye?
Yeah.
I'm just
let's see what happens.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we are 3 episodes in, but there isn't a huge amount that you can sort of go into.
Well, there's not really any spoilers, is there, at the moment either? There's not really anything where you think, oh, we better not mention that with it, because if you've watched it,
we don't know yet.
Nothing that's significant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
was brilliant.
So Webb's idea is the dog is Nick Fury. That's what you're going for.
Well, all right. Fuck it, I'll say.
Is it the right eye? Is it the right eye for Nick Fury?
No, it's the left eye, isn't it?
It's the dog's left eye.
Yeah, so which is same as Nick Fury's.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
That would be a curveball. I mean,
it would be a fucking stretch, I have to say, and it would have to involve those guys in Captain Marvel that constantly change their skin. I can't remember the Skrees or the Skrulls. The Skrulls. So you think they're bad guys, but they're actually good guys, and something to do with a cat. Where they used the fucking thing from Men in Black, didn't they? The cat had it all along.
That's right. Yeah. And
the cat turned into a monster, and that's who scratched Nick Fury's eye out. Yeah, so wasn't my favourite. Apparently, she's just been totally kicked out of the next Captain Marvel film with Brie Larson. They've just had enough.
Really?
They just said, "Fuck it, that's it, mate. We'll do this without you." So it's not attached to her anymore. There is no Captain Marvel 2. They're calling it the Marvels, and there's a theory that
Miss Marvel's the TV series.
Miss Marvel and a couple of other characters from that world instead, and possibly Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel's friend, the pilot who has the kid. You guys remember from the movie?
Who was in WandaVision.
Marvel was like an old lady detective with superpowers.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do with Captain Marvel then?
I don't know.
Because she was literally just at the end of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, maybe sometimes you get an actor.
I mean, are you sure they've just done with because Shang-Chi?
I know they've changed the name. I know that you're right about that. They've changed it from Captain Marvel 2 to the Marvels.
I knew that anyway. But what I just read literally yesterday was that she's no longer attached to the project at all.
Wow.
So, but you're right. She is in Shang-Chi, which is a bit weird. But also, I was just about to say, sometimes you get an actress that's so intolerable to work with, or an actor that's so intolerable to work with, they just talk themselves out of work all the time. Notably, what's he called? Crispin Glover. Yeah, I knew. Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
Like, he talked himself out of the fucking role of George McFly. They didn't want him back for the second one because he just made so many demands. They were like, do you know what? We're all right, mate. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a win. We'll see.
Interesting. Well, yeah, really looking forward to. So 2 days time we get to see.
Get another one. Yeah. I feel like I hope they do the last two as a 2-in-1.
Well,
I mean?
next week, so this week's, what we're on today, the 6th, so the 8th, then the next one will be the 15th, and then the next one will be the 22nd, so the day after our Christmas show. So yeah, so that makes sense that they would have the last episode on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to
not finish it 2 weeks before Christmas.
And plus, the thing is as well with all it, actually, no. Last night we finished Spider-Man. I said to Joe, right, since you've watched it, you've got to watch the credits. Right? There's always something in the credits. It's going to link us to the next movie. It's going to make us want to watch something else that we didn't even think about. You know what I mean? The end credits for Spider-Man are fucking terrible. There's a scene where the guy got knocked into the water on the boat before the boat gets ripped in half, the ferry in Spider-Man. He's in prison and he's got a scar on his face and he comes up to the Vulture.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And he goes, oh, don't worry, I'm not mad at you. I don't blame you for this. I blame Spider-Man. And I heard a rumor that you know him. And Vulture goes, well, if I did know him, I wouldn't tell you. I'd fucking kill him myself. And that was it. And we waited right till after the credits as well. Nothing. I was like, the one time I've actually got Joe to sit down, watch the end credits and everything. There's nothing even there for her. But yeah, I was well impressed with she can't wait to watch number 2. So that's what we'll do. We'll report back next week.
What a shame, because it's not as good as I wanted.
I knew this Tom Holland was going to win her over. I knew he's such a good Spider-Man. I knew he would win her over. And that's exactly what it was. It was
I heard he was great. It's Billy Elliot.
The grace he brought to it, the humour he brings to it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's
just true.
It's awesome.
And also 3 more Spider-Man films featured with Tom Holland.
Yeah. Bring it on.
It's going to be interesting. So this film is going to be the end of the Coming Home series of sort of phase of Spider-Man. I watched him doing a thing for some sort of Marvel showcase in Brazil where they were interviewing Willem Dafoe, guys playing Doc Ock. What's his name?
Alfred Molina,
and Jamie Foxx. It wasn't great. They didn't really reveal anything apart from how much more comfortable costumes are these days. And whereas they'd have like a 15-hour costume fitting where the costume would be tried on, all these different things. That work? No. Does this work? No. And all these different bits. It's now literally they scan their body and they make the costume that way. And then they put it on them and it just fits. And Alfred Molina was saying, obviously, there's no puppeteers with the tentacles. That's all done in CGI now as well. So yeah, they were talking about that sort of stuff. But Tom Holland was saying that this is the end of the Homecoming series of Spider-Man films.
Right.
But there's another 3 featuring him or starring him going to be coming
up. Yeah,
so
I mean,
cool. That's excellent.
He's a great Spider-Man.
And
that's awesome. The other thing that's worth mentioning about Hawkeye is the potential for what they're going to show us that's coming next, how they're going to link things.
Yeah,
that's something
the most interesting thing in these series, isn't it? Is how they're then going to link it to the rest of the MCU, or how it's going to further because the end of each of these series, it actually furthers another character arc or another story that's not really had anything to do with the series you've just watched.
I mean, that's why it's. I mean, fair play to the guy who's in charge of it all. You know, Kevin was Feige in it. You know, to plan all this out must take a lot of doing, and plan when each film's going to drop and all that. Even that, because if you watch one of them out of sequence, you'd be like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Okay, you've got to remember how popular Iron Man was before Iron Man came out, as opposed to how popular he is now. Not very. Nobody gave a shit about that character. That was the first fucking movie they chose to do.
It was because of the success of Iron Man that they decided to do what it is that they're doing.
It's all predicated
They didn't have any of this planned. It was Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's another
thing.
But
I mean, now they've got to, they've got to link all this stuff, and it must take so much planning to go.
They would not have introduced the multiverse if they weren't planning on keeping this going and going and going and going.
Yeah, and I can't say too much about it because she sat right next to me. She just come in, but when you think about what we know about Iron Man's relationship with Spider-Man in this current incarnation, and what's about to happen that she hasn't seen yet, and how deep it goes, and how beautiful their relationship is, and how fucking she was laughing her head off at that hug bit. You know, I'm not giving you a hug, I'm trying to open the door. It's just shit like that. She's never seen it before, so she's now probably entertaining
her senses are tingling, sat listening to you going, "Oh, what's the extra one?"
Probably thinking, and maybe that's not as bad as if you can watch one of them, maybe you can watch them all, which is kind of the point, isn't it? And that's what I wasn't expecting. Now I give a shit about characters I really cared less about. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
It all made me want to watch Loki again. I feel like Loki's a bit of a hinge with all of this, actually, particularly those last couple of episodes. Well, gentlemen, this has been a lovely couple of hours spending with you. Next week, this is our special announcement. We are 1 year old next week, and to celebrate our 1 year anniversary, we are having a big, fat geek quiz. So please come along to the show next Monday at 7:30, usual time, usual place. Bring your pad and pen or your iPad with the notes function on it or something like that, because we will be hosting one of our quizzes, and it's just going to be the quiz that night. So it's going to be fun. Very much looking forward to it. You got your questions yet, gents?
No, I've been working on this show. But I will do. Play along with us at home, obviously. You guys have an advantage. You guys get to answer more questions than we do, because there's 2 rounds each we've got to miss, isn't there? So by the end of it,
so basically the format of it is that we ask, we organise 5 rounds of 5 questions each. That's 75 questions. So our audience get to answer a possible 75 questions. We get to answer a possible 50 questions each. But for every question we ask that neither of the other 2 geeks answer, we get a point up to the value totally of 25 points. So it basically means everyone's able to score 75 points. It was the format that we did on our inaugural quiz, and it seemed to work really well. And also the winner, Nathan won it. Webby won it last time, and he beat Big T by 1 point. Webby got 35 and Big T got 34.
Man, that was a shocker.
Battle of the Titans. So yes, come join the show next week, 7:30, for our 1 year anniversary show. It's really exciting that we've been doing this for a year, and our big geek quiz. Lummy, what is happening tomorrow night on Box Office Radio?
I have got music. I'll put the thing up for you. Here we go. Music from the films of Samuel L. Jackson tomorrow night.
His little shiny head.
There he is. So you've got a bit of everything in there from his.
Bit of Pulp Fiction in there.
Do you know what? Snakes on a Plane. Star Wars. It's all there.
Nice.
Long Kiss Goodnight. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got any originals like Do the Right Thing or Spike Lee? Some of them earlier flicks.
No. I've got. Just have a look.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is there. Well, I'll tell you what. What a massive filmography. When I was looking through his thing, I'm like, don't forget.
Somebody who started so late in life as an actor.
Yeah. I have to. Don't forget, I've got to get all the tracks as well. Jurassic Park, yeah. He even had a cameo in Patriot Games, if you remember that, with old Harrison Ford.
Really?
In one scene with one line.
Yeah.
But Coming to America.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was of course, yeah.
Was that his debut?
I think, he'd done a few little bits, but yeah, that was the one with the, yeah. But
Jurassic Park was his first big one, though, wasn't it?
Jurassic Park was after Coming to America, obviously.
He wasn't famous at that point either. He wasn't very famous.
Jurassic Park was the year before Pulp Fiction. Yeah. 93 was Jurassic Park. 94. Wow. Pulp Fiction was the thing that put him on the map, really, wasn't it, for everybody?
Deservedly so, yeah. It's amazing,
so what time's Box Office Radio? Is that 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock, there you go. 8 o'clock. You can listen to it on your device if you've got it set up, or just on website Box Office Radio. And then the week after, I'm starting my Christmas specials. There's going to be 2 Christmas specials.
The music of Santa Claus movies.
Santa Claus the movie will be in there.
Have you seen it's a new Christmas film out?
There's about 80 on Christmas Channel.
No, there's a guy, I think it's called A Christmas Wish or A Christmas Number 1 or something like that. And the music's all by the guy who used to write for Robbie Williams, Guy Chambers. And it's got Ramsey the Bastard Bolton from
Oh, really?
Game of Thrones in it, and he's singing in it, and he's got a Christmas #1 out, and he's singing a duet
He's
with
a good
somebody
singer,
really
actually. I've
famous.
heard him sing.
Singing and playing guitar, yeah.
Mm.
So, but the song came on the Christmas single that they've done. It came on it was on my Facebook earlier on. It sounded all right, actually. I liked it.
Cool.
I like a Christmas
Nice,
song.
nice. Well, gentlemen, it's been lovely hanging out tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the show. Thanks for all your comments. We're looking forward to seeing you next week. Feel free to share the heck out of our material. Go over to our Twitter page at It's All Geek Twit. Go over to our YouTube channel. It's All Geek to Me. Give us a subscribe, and like I said, share the heck out of our content. But until next week, I've been Gittins, he's been Lummy, and he's been Webby. And we are going to see all your beautiful faces. No, we won't, because you can only see ours and we can't see yours. That's ridiculous. But
we can imagine them.
You next week. We'll feel you next week. What the fuck? See you later, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Gonna feel you next